I'm going to do some wrapping up in this tutorial. Talk about consonant that we've seen before in the tutorials, look at another vowel and talk about vowel lengths and tones. So the consonant is this one, it's called wan in Thai, wan being like a ring that you put on your finger. It makes a W sound. So this word here, the wan, the mahanagat, which makes like an English U sound, and the final consonant nornu, which makes an N sound, so one, which means day. And for some reason, although it makes a W sound, it's often transliterated as a V in Thai, which makes no sense at all because the V sound doesn't even exist in Thai. And as I said before, I've come across lots of evidence that when the transliteration system was devised, there was a lot of German input. And I can only think it's because of the German input, you know, like Germans will pronounce W as V. As a final consonant, it makes a kind of L sound. So this here is the word for rice with a falling tone, cow. And that long R vowel and the wan like makes a long ow sound. This word here, it's the word for finger, and it's also the word that Thai is used for inch, as in a unit of measurement. Got a high tone, nil. Now, you think that when Thais transliterated English words that ended with an L, it might be a good idea sometimes to use this wan to be more phonetically correct. But if an English word ends with an L, they just use the standard L equals law ling. And law ling as a final consonant in Thai makes an N sound. So that's why Thais say bon for ball and centran for central. This last word, they've combined the sara air and the wan, and that makes a kind of owl sound. Meow, which means cat in Thai. I've mentioned before that some Thai consonants can be used as vowels, and this is one of them. And it can be used in words that do and don't have a final consonant. So if words just have an initial consonant, no final consonant, we need to use it in conjunction with the mahanagat. And that combination makes an ua sound. So this word here is the informal word for head, hua. And this word here is the word for cow, wua. Now, if a word has a final consonant, we don't need to use that mahanagat, we can just use the wan, and it has exactly the same sound. So this word here, nonu, the N sound is the initial consonant, then the wan, which acts as a vowel, and then the dodek, which as a final consonant makes an unreleased T sound. So nuat, nuat. If you're looking for a massage in Thailand, this is the sign you want to look for. And this word here, we've got the so, the S initial consonant, and the wan acting as a vowel, and the nonu final consonant, the N sound. So suwan, which means garden. From the previous tutorials, you should be familiar with this vowel here, the long R. Sometimes it's used with this little circle, which is written above the consonant that goes before that vowel. And when you see that, it makes an sound. It's not am. Now you can write this sound in a different way. You can use the mahanagat and the morma. That makes an sound. And I have seen words that use this combination for an but this one is more common. So the word to remember in Thai, jum, it's jum, not jam. And yum is a kind of spicy salad, which you will see on a lot of Thai menus, and it's yum, not yam. Although when I've been down to Malaysia and Singapore and I see restaurants selling Thai food, they transliterate it as yam. And another vowel combination, when you see this long R vowel after a consonant, but there's the Sara A before the consonant, that vowel combination makes a short ow sound. It's a short vowel, but for tone purposes, when you're trying to work out the tone of a word, that actually makes a live syllable, even though it's a short vowel. And when you see the long R vowel and the war wan written together after a consonant, it makes a long ow ow sound. So that there is a difference between this short ow and the long ow. But once again, the transliteration system doesn't differentiate between the two sounds, and if there's a word with the same initial consonant with a short ow or a long ow, it will just be transliterated in the same way. This is where Thai can start to be a bit of a nightmare. As I said before, there are several consonants that make the same sound. So you could have two words that have the same sound, but they use different initial consonants. So they've got, may have a different tone, different spelling, different meaning. You can have long and short vowels, and every word can have one of 5 tones. So theoretically, you can take one basic sound, you can change the initial consonant, you can change the vowel length, you can change the tone, and each variation will have a different meaning. It will just be a completely different word. It is a nightmare, but on the other hand, when you speak in sentences, your sentences have context. So for example, if a Thai asks you, "Bai nai," where are you going? And you say, "Bai gin cow," like you're going to eat rice. If you get the tone wrong on the cow, they should still know what you mean. So maybe it's not as bad as it first appears. So here's some words here. Let's just go through them. This first word, it's got the kor kai initial consonant, which is high class, and then the short ow vowel. And in the tone tutorial, I said that words that end with a short vowel have a dead syllable if they don't have if they don't have a tone mark. But with this vowel, it's actually considered to be live. So high class initial consonant, live vowel, but it's a short vowel. It gives a rising tone. So you need to sort of say something like cow, but short. Sometimes called pull cow. It means mountain. Next word is exactly the same, but it can be used as a personal pronoun for they, them, he, she. So it's exactly the same word, same spelling, same tone, same everything. This third word, we've got the kor kai k high class initial consonant, but it uses the long ow. And the tone rule is the same. It's a high class initial consonant. It's still got a live vowel, even though it's long. So it's a rising tone, but a long vowel. So cow, which means white. See, when Thai say colours, they add the word colour in front. So see cow, see cow. Difficult for me. I've said it many times. My tones and pronunciation are not good because I started learning Thai too late in life. But the idea of these tutorials is just to go through the theory with you. This fourth word, basically the same spelling as the one above, but it has the first tone mark. So a different tone rule. So high class initial consonant. It's a long vowel. It uses the first tone mark, which gives it a low tone. So low tone, but long vowel. Cow. Cow. It means news. Right, on to the fifth word. So here we have the kor kai again, the high class initial K consonant. It's got the short ow vowel and it's got the second tone mark. So high class initial consonant, second tone mark. gives it a falling tone, but it's short. So we've got to try and keep it short. We've got to try and put energy into the start and let it fall off. So I will attempt it. Cow, which means to enter, that is in enter a room. Now this next word is probably the word I use most out of all these, because it means rice, and when Thai say they're eating, they always say they're eating rice. They don't just say they're eating, it's always eating rice. So Kor Kai again, high class initial K consonant, long vowel, but it's got the second tone mark, so that combination gives it a falling tone, but it's long. So energy into the front of the word, let it fall off, but long. Cow, ging cow. These last two words I found in my dictionary. I'm not familiar with them. I don't think I've ever heard them used, but they all helped give me some more examples. They use a different K initial consonant. They use Kor Kwai, which is a low class initial consonant. So Kor Kwai and then the long ow, no tone mark. So it's a low class initial consonant, and it's a live syllable, which is mid class. So cow, cow, cow. Like with no tone going up or down, just try and keep it flat in the middle. The smell of fresh meat or fish. This one also uses Kor Kwai as an initial consonant. It's got the short ow and it's got the second tone mark. And low class initial consonant, second tone mark gives it a high tone. So we've got to try and sort of move our register up, but keep it short. Cow, cow, which means clo. I have a little bonus for you in this tutorial. Just as I finished mangling the pronunciation and tones of these words, my wife came home from work. So what I'll do, I'll get her to go through and just give you the correct pronunciation from a Thai native speaker. So there's 8 words. I'll get her to pronounce each word 3 times. 1.
เขาเขาเขา
2.
เขาเขาเขา
3.
ขาวขาวขาว
4.
ข่าวข่าวข่าว
5.
เข้าเข้าเข้า
6.
ข้าวข้าวข้าว
7.
ข้าวข้าวข้าว
8.
เขาเขาเขา
So tones are definitely not easy for non-native speakers, but don't feel too disheartened. What I can tell you from 19 years experience living in Thailand is that my tones and pronunciation are not good, and when I've heard Farang speak Thai, it's the same. I've never heard a Farang speaking really good Thai, but you can be understood. The biggest problem I face in Thailand with not being understood is that Thais just won't listen to me. If I meet a Thai that I don't know, their assumption is that I don't speak any Thai and they don't speak any English, so they just consider it useless trying to communicate. They won't listen. You can see it on their faces that when I'm speaking, they're just not even listening. If you can get them to listen and to try to understand, they can understand. And what I've often found is that there's a kind of tuning in process. So with a Thai that I don't know, when I first start speaking, they don't understand anything. And then they tune in, and then after a 5 or 10 minute conversation, they're telling me how good my Thai is. Oh, put Thai gang mark. So, you know, it's as I say, there's context to the conversations, so they do know what you're saying, even if you get the tones wrong. And if you can get them to listen and try to understand, you can be understood. thank you for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and more videos soon.